And obviously, you kind of started off and built your reputation as a civil engineer. You're then leading a major digital transformation. How was that received by the people that you were leading? What did they think you had the credibility, given your background in civil engineering?
Yeah, I think. Look, I've been cemented in Melbourne Airport for a long time, a good number of years. I had some roles that got me really across the whole business, managing the operation, for example. And that gave me a good grasp on the business in terms of what its capability was on the day and where we wanted to take it. And I think that's probably what got me into the business transformation space. COVID obviously accelerated a lot of business improvement programs within businesses and also digital improvement programs. And that opened the door for me to then step into that type of role. I've been in the business a long time. I'd had some good senior roles. I was across the business and I had a good pulse on it. So I could understand where we were now and where we wanted to take it. And I think that's really what got me in. And that was great because it got me into the technology space, which I love and find very interesting. And we're fully in the digital era now, so its relevance is so important to helping businesses be as good as they can be, which has also caught my eye at Melbourne Airport.
Yeah, fantastic. And you left Melbourne Airport after 8 years and 4 promotions. How did you know it was time to move on?
Yeah, so I, COVID was wearing off. We had a new dawn, if you like, for the aviation industry. We also had a big major restructure within the airport itself, a new CEO who was coming in, setting up things. And there was a lot of change happening, a lot of flux. And the opportunity came up for me to actually, 12 years, try something different, and I thought it was the right time. Market was bounced back. It was good personally for me to start looking for new opportunities as well, and that's why I decided to move then. Funny enough, I actually started to get a bit of a 10-year itch, but that 10-year itch happened right near the start of COVID. Two reasons why I didn't act on the itch was, one, I was given this great opportunity to move into business improvement and digital enhancement, but two, the market wasn't great. So I stayed longer. And then once the market had bounced back, it was time to move.
Yeah, fantastic. And at that point, did you kind of make a conscious decision that the path to take now is into tech? Did you consider maybe going back to your kind of engineering roots at that point?
Look, for me, I really wanted to carry on this journey around technology. I felt that if I went back into, say, an aviation role, an engineering role, then that would kind of pigeonhole me in those zones or sectors, and I was conscious of that. And also, coming off the back of my recent business transformation work and technology work within Melbourne Airport, if I stepped away from it then, it might have been harder to get back into it later on. Yeah,
that's true.
I was also developing a real passion for it as well. So my vibe was, stick with this, and that's why I was lucky enough to get a CIO role with Johns Lyng Group.
Yeah, and I noticed that when you joined Johns Lyng, I'd probably describe it as your first traditional tech role as CIO, which is quite a way to start. What do you think set you apart for that role?
Look, two things. Being in the construction industry early in my career, Johns Lyng Group primarily is a construction business. So I understood the business, I understood the type of work they do, the business processes, all those things. So I understood the business, and that was a good attribute for me on that. But also the business knew that it had really good growth in recent years, had done some acquisitions, needed to have a consolidated strategy and plan going forwards for its digital technology, and newly created a CIO role, saw me as, I guess, someone with strategic nous to be able to pull that together and present them their overarching global digital strategy.
Yeah, right. That's great. So that's interesting. So you've still kind of got the core understanding of what they do as a business to make money.
Yeah.
Right, and how they commercially operate. Yet you've also managed to get this technology, digital understanding. So that kind of hybrid of being able to bring the two together.
Yeah.
Rather than just being a pure technologist that's kind of come up from a different path. And as you mentioned, it's a global role. I think I've read there you had a team there in Australia, New Zealand, and the US.
Yeah.
How did you find that kind of managing a team kind of globally?
Yeah, the time zone challenge is real, but it can also be your friend as well. So if you're a global operation and you've got capability in different time zones, you can have really nice coordinated handovers throughout the 24-hour cycle, and just have a more consistent capability globally. So, that takes a bit of time to set up and establish, but it is a challenge at the start.
You could find yourself working all hours, no doubt.
There are some late meetings.
Yeah. And what have you learned about technology since you've moved into that role?
So for me, technology goes hand in hand with business process, and you can't look at just technology in isolation. Businesses have processes that make them a success on a day-to-day. Some of the process is in system, some of it's out of system. And you really need to understand the end-to-end to really have a full grasp of how your business operates. Where's the good? Where's the bad? Where do you want to take it to? So for me, I look at technology with business process together. And that might be because I've come from a business background rather than the sort of technologist, on the tools on the way up perspective. So I look at both together firstly. I think if you look at technology now, there is so much technology in terms of systems and applications that are available. It is much more easier now to be more off the shelf and adopt the global practice in terms of inbuilt processes. So I think that's a growing trend and sensible. If you're going down the SaaS product route, enjoy the releases and the R&D that goes into those products with the releases that come out each year. And if you sort of try close to out of the box, then each time a release comes out, you're not going to hurt your business or risk breaking something that will hurt the business. So I think that's another really interesting trend and easier for us in the tech industry to follow now as well. And the other thing is it's just changing all the time. So I think that's a problem and an opportunity. How to stay up with the pace of change of technology, so that you don't fall behind the competition, but you're also not too far advanced for the type of organisation you are. Some organisations want to be leading edge. Some are happy to be in the pack. So making sure you know which organisation you are and then keep up with that pace. So it's understanding kind of where tech fits within, let's say, the strategic priorities of the board. Is that what you're saying? Yeah.